place and the name better than the sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off.
Verse 6, slowly now.
Also, the sons of the stranger.
Stop. The sons of the stranger. People think this is the other nations. We're going to find out who this is. Go ahead.
That join themselves to the Lord.
That's the strangers that join themselves unto the Lord. Go ahead.
To serve Him and to love the name of the Lord. To be His servants.
To what?
To be His servants.
The strangers to be His servants. Who are the Most High servants? I want you to hold that. Give Leviticus 25:55. Who are the Most High servants? But earlier that an Israelite can be a stranger. Leviticus 25:55.
For unto me the children of Israel are servants.
Now what?
For unto me the children of Israel are servants.
Yeah.
They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
The children of Israel are the Most High servants. Go back to Isaiah 56 again. Read verse 6 one more time.
Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord, to serve Him and to love the name of the Lord, to be His servants.
Because they're Israelites. So strangers are Israelites. Go ahead.
Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant.
Of His covenant. Go ahead.
Even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people.
You got us. It says for all people. Nah, brother, go see. I got you now. It says for all people. You go crazy. No. Now we gotta read the next verse. Because the next verse is going to explain all the whom of all the people. All people of who? Go ahead.
The Lord God which gathereth the outcasts of Israel.
Is what?
Read that thing again.
Read it again.
The Lord God which gathereth the outcasts of Israel saith, Yet will I gather others to Him, beside those that are gathered unto Him.
So that's for all people. Read verse 8 one more time. I want one part about it.
The Lord God which gathereth the outcasts of Israel.
Which gathereth the outcasts of Israel. Remember what I said earlier. I said Moses called himself a stranger because he was an outcast from his own land. He had to run from his own land. He killed a Hebrew, and Pharaoh was going to kill him. So he was alienated from his own land, and fled to Midian and became a stranger because he was no longer in his own land. He was an outcast of his own land and dwelt somewhere else, which made him what? A stranger. It says here, the Lord God which gathered the outcasts of Israel. So let's find out who that is. The outcasts of Israel. Let's get Isaiah 11:10. Isaiah 11 verse 10 to 12. Who are the outcasts of Israel he's speaking of? Isaiah 11 verse 10 to 12.
Isaiah 11 verse 10.
You're going to find that the strangers are the outcasts of Israel. Go ahead.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse.
That's Christ. Go ahead.
Which shall stand for an ensign of the people.
We use that's the Bible. The ensign is the Bible. Go ahead. The law.
To it shall the Gentiles seek.
Here we go again. To it shall the Gentiles seek. Brothers think, the other nations. Let's calm down. We're going to get to the point. To it shall the Gentiles seek. So the Most High here is calling them Gentiles. Go ahead.
And His rest shall be glorious.
And His what?
And His rest shall be glorious.
His rest shall be glorious. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set His hand again the second time to recover the remnant of His people.
Now you're not making it clear. He said, to it shall the Gentiles seek. And His rest to the Gentiles shall be glorious. So before we even get down, let's hold that real quick. Hold all those to get Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 verse 1.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them.
This is the other nations here. And the strangers shall be joined with them, the Israelites. Go ahead.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
We're going to possess the strangers, the other nations, for slaves, servants and handmaids. Go ahead.
And they shall take them captives whose captives they were.
We were once their slaves, they're going to be our slaves. Go ahead.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
We're going to rule over our oppressors with a rod of iron under Christ. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. That the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Give you rest. Talking to Israel. Give thee rest from thy sorrow. What sorrow? Read on.
And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
The hard bondage you read about in Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. You shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Most High is going to flip the script and give us rest. So who deserves rest? The ones who are in captivity today. The Israelites, not the other nations. The other nations are not in captivity. We are in captivity amongst those nations. Go back to Isaiah 11 again. Read verse 10 again.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse.
That's Christ.
Which shall stand for an ensign of the people.
Of the people. Go ahead.
To which shall the Gentiles seek.
It shall the Gentiles seek, which is Israel. Go ahead.
And his rest shall be glorious.
His rest to those Gentiles who seek him shall be glorious, which is the rest of Israel. You read that in Isaiah 14. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Now he's calling those Gentiles the remnant of his people. The remnant from where? Go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria.
Which where?
Which shall be left from Assyria.
So you have Israelites in Assyria. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And from Egypt.
Egypt.
And from Pathros.
Pathros is Upper Egypt.
And from Cush.
Ethiopia.
And from Elam.
East India.
And from Shinar.
And from Babylon.
And from Hamath.
That's Central Syria.
And from the islands of the sea.
And all other parts of the world. Islands of the sea like Jamaica. All the different islands. Alright, different islands and so forth. Go ahead.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Now he's calling them nations. Because Israel was scattered amongst the nations. So now the Most High is calling Israel nation. He just said earlier that he shall recover the remnant of his people. He shall set an ensign for the nations, which are his people. Go ahead.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Now he's making clear the nations are. The outcasts of Israel. Read that earlier in Isaiah 56. Go ahead.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
Not only the outcasts of Israel, the northern kingdom, but the dispersed of Judah, the southern kingdom. Go ahead.
From the four corners of the earth.
From the four corners of the earth. So now, we want out of the four corners of the earth, we want Isaiah 43, verse 5 to 6. Let everything go. Isaiah 43, verse 5 to 6.
Verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the end of the earth.
I said from the east, west, north, and south. The four corners. Alright? From the ends of the earth. And you read verse 1, he's talking about Israel. It's undeniable. Alright? So now we know where Israel is scattered throughout all four corners of the earth. So Isaiah 11, verse 10 to 12 is talking about the scattered Israelites, whom he called Gentiles, he called them remnant, and he called them nations. All of them equal one thing, Israel. So now let's go back to, let's get Isaiah 56 again. No, I'm sorry, get Deuteronomy 32, verse 26. Deuteronomy 32, verse 26. Just in case there's still confusion about Israel being called different names. Bywords and proverbs. The Most High called us the nations. The Most High called us Gentiles. Bywords and proverbs. Read.
32:26. I said, I would scatter them into corners.
Four corners. Go ahead.
I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
There's going to come a time when Israel is going to forget who they are. Scattered amongst the nations, Israel's remembrance of who they are will be forgotten amongst men. Alright? So now, Isaiah 56 again. Let's go back there. Isaiah 56 verse 8 again. Let's get more understanding of that verse. Isaiah 56 verse 8.
The Lord God, which gathereth the outcasts of Israel, saith, Yet will I gather others to him, beside those that are gathered unto him.
That's the part we want. I want you to read one more time.
The Lord God which gathereth the outcasts of Israel saith,